So you want to learn how to write your spells? Well, this is how I do mine. First, decide what your goal or intention is. For this demonstration, I'm going to use increased confidence as an example. Next, you're going to write your petition or affirmations. Make sure they are written in present or past tense, like how you would when you are scripting. Make sure to be specific. When you're not specific enough, sometimes that has its own consequences, like unintended desired result. So for example, I am writing, I am confident, that's good, but I would change it to, I feel confident every time I look into the mirror, or I feel confident when I wear my favorite colors. You want to write it so that the desired result is what you actually intended. My petitions are usually more thorough than this, but for time purposes, we all know how money spells can go wrong. Next, you want to write out how you're going to do your petition. Are you going to keep it plain and simple and write it on a piece of paper? Are you going to use a bay leaf, or are you going to carve it onto your candles? Will you be using sigils? Next, you'll want to write down your method of accomplishing this spell. Will it be done by a ritual bath? Baths are actually the most effective form of spell work. However, not everyone has a tub, and that's totally okay. You can also do it in shower form. I do a lot of spell jars just because I have cats. When you determine what method, then you'll be able to determine what supplies you'll be using. Everything that you use must align with your intention. What plants are you going to be using? When it comes to inanimate objects, will you be using candles, crystals? Will you be using animal sheds or rusted nails? Obviously, it's not for confidence. It's an example of variety. Just make sure to avoid cultural appropriation. Next is timing. Do you work with the moon phases? Do you work with planetary magic? Do you do it on certain days? Technically, you can do it on any day, but doing it on certain days and certain phases of the moon is said to bring in more power to the spell. Lastly, you should know when to tether your spell. If you are a beginner, it's highly recommended that you tether your spells. This is the brief rundown. I'm usually more detailed with it before it goes into my grimoire, and sometimes I do include protections within my spell. I didn't include the elements because I don't want this taken down. Always do your research and stay safe.